This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, this
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yay.
Sam Shocker's birthday weekend.
Yes,
I feel like she's going to have a
really.
trumpeter at the house when she gets home.
That's absolutely not true. My husband and I have very mellow plans on Tuesday and Tuesday only to celebrate with the kids, and then he and I are going to go, because it's his birthday too, we're going to go out to dinner Tuesday
awesome.
evening.
You guys same birthday, the exact same day?
Did you just meet?
I don't
It's
remember.
been 7 years. Their birthdays are the same day, and they got married on Halloween.
Thank you, Erica. I'm glad someone listens.
Frank, what are you thinking? I mean, Al, sorry. All right, let's get to it, guys. Simone Biles cemented her GOAT status at the Olympics yesterday. She won her second gold medal in the women's all-around final. Her teammate Suni Lee took home the bronze. She also leaned into being the greatest of all time by showing off her new necklace with the sparkly goat on it. She previously said that haters hate her GOAT nickname, but we all know she's definitely earned it. I don't know what the question is here. And Tom Cruise is gearing up to perform one of the greatest Olympic stunts of all time. Tom was seen cheering on the women's gymnastic team this past weekend. TMZ is reporting Tom is planning to rappel down from the closing ceremony stadium and land on the field carrying the Olympic flag. Tom was also spotted at the base of the Hollywood sign back in March. There are reports he skydived to the base of the sign, where he then passed the torch to LA for the 2028 Olympics. That's going to be cool when it's all put back together. Imagine being a tourist and you're like, you go to see the Hollywood sign and Tom Cruise is there. Right. You know what I mean? That's like a double win. And we know Tom is no stranger to putting his life on the line, like this time he jumped off a cliff on a motorcycle for the latest Mission Impossible film. I got a funny, Matt Damon told a funny story that I saw on Instagram, and he met Tom Cruise because he does the Jason Bourne stuff like back in the day. And he goes, how do you get to do all these stunts? He goes, I wanted to do some stunts, and my stunt coordinator's like, you can't do that. Like, we can't ensure that. So Tom Cruise is like, well, I got a funny story. So when I was doing Mission Impossible, I suggest we do this. The guy told me no, too. And he goes, what'd you do? He goes, I got a new stunt coordinator. And then he told me I could do the jump. And he goes, oh, well, that solves it. He just fires people that tell him no.
Crazy.
I mean,
Tom Cruise, like, when it comes to movie stars, I'm not talking about anything personally, but he is the GOAT. Like, just watching his enthusiasm for the athletes there and what he's going to be doing for this closing ceremony, I'm so excited.
I mean, a career of unbelievable relevance going back to the 80s. Like, we're talking about decades of just, we've seen him grow up and we've fallen in love with different characters, but he's always managed to be Tom Cruise, but also morph into different characters. He hasn't gotten locked in one franchise. I just don't know how he does it, but he's absolutely the GOAT. There's no discussion.
I will say I have a tremendous amount of respect for how Tom Cruise has been handling this Olympic situation, because it's not about him. And there has been times where he has kind of overshined some of the athletes, and he's kind of removed himself from that. So I have respect for that, because to be honest, like, until we see what Tom Cruise is really doing, it really should be about the athletes who only get this type of shine once every 4 years.
Great point.
Absolutely. All right. Britney Spears' best-selling memoir is being made into a movie. Yahoo!
Okay.
Universal landed the rights to develop The Woman in Me into a Britney biopic. John M. Chu, who directed the upcoming Wicked and Crazy Rich Asians, will direct the movie. Britney teased the news on X, writing, I've been working on a secret project with producer Matt Platt. He's always made my favorite movies. Stay tuned. The book revealed a lot about her relationship with Justin Timberlake, like how he said he encouraged her to have an abortion and how they both cheated on each other.
This is the most vulnerable book. I was shocked. I listened to it on audio, and I was shocked.
You raved about it.
Well, it's just her side of the story, and that's all I heard. And her side of the story is she does not leave anything off the table. And she talks about not only the situation with Justin Timberlake and him, according to her, forcing her to have an abortion, but also some of her rendezvous with some of the biggest celebrities you can imagine, as well as her father being, in her words, a deadbeat dad who was absent until she started making money, and alcoholic. alcoholic, her mom treating her more like a friend, going out and drinking with her, what age she lost her virginity. It's a lot younger than you think. It's going to be a really telling movie to the people that did not read the book.
Who should play Britney, by the way?
Ooh, that's a good one. Come back to that.
All right,
That's a good one.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that was, you just dropped the bomb on the
that is a
panel.
good one.
Well, I want to take credit for it, but the booth just put it in
Sydney
here.
Sweeney?
Ooh.
That actually could
Who?
be
She said
Sydney
Sydney
Sweeney.
Sweeney. I could see that.
Who would be a young Britney, though?
You might have to be somebody like totally not even
Yeah.
discovered yet.
If Jeff or I knew that, that would be very creepy. Yeah.
I got the perfect.
Yeah.
I will say I'm so glad that she's involved in this project, and the people who are involved will do it the right way. This could be one of the biggest projects to come out. Like, honestly, I haven't gotten into it, and I know it's on my queue
You
right
have
now.
You'll be glued.
I know, and I love memoirs, so I will.
And Michelle Williams is the narrator. So
Yeah.
I said woohoo because I don't like drumming up all the drama and reliving it. And we already did that with the book, and lives were affected because people get affected by this, not us directly, but other people. And now the movie's coming out, and it's going to drum up more drama.
I'll say this because I was thinking that, Jeff, but I was like, if they do this right, if they're able to tell her story the correct way. I just watched Dirty Pop about
I did too.
the Backstreet Boys
me too,
manager.
me too.
I watched that last night.
Lou Pearlman.
Lou Pearlman. And when you watch these documentaries, I watched the one on Wham, what you continuously see over and over again is young kids getting ripped off. And it doesn't matter.
Worse than that.
Yes, thank you. And so I hope that instead of name pointing and us coming out of here like that's a bad person, this person's not canceled, I hope we can step back and look at the music business and just like how vulnerable these kids were and how we need to be going forward to just like not just allow a grown man to have your 16-year-old sign a 10-album contract.
Yeah, that was super interesting, that documentary, because how, the Backstreet Boys, if you don't know the whole story, he managed the Backstreet Boys and then managed NSYNC, but the list goes on, and he was under litigation the whole time, and bands kept signing on because they're like, I don't care if I get in litigation, I just want to be famous.
But that's kind of countering the point I was going to make to you, is the idea of transparency is the lack of transparency is what makes people sick. And I understand you're saying like drumming up the drama, but the drama was the actual currency in the early 2000s. The drama still is the currency. So she was really the subject of so much scrutiny and drama that she didn't even perpetuate. It was just brought to her for simply existing.
Right.
So the idea that she is taking control and redefining her narrative, I really commend her for that. We talk about mental health all the time, and the idea that someone has been in control of your narrative for 40 years at this point, and you've had no way to speak your truth, I think it's very cathartic, and I hope it's something that'll help her.
It's time for a reckoning, because all those kids that came up in that Disney era, whether it's Amanda Bynes, we see Justin Timberlake has had some issues lately. Something happened, because these were our best and brightest kids, smart, good looking, and now a lot of them are really struggling.
Quickly, I just want to clarify, and I appreciate that. I agree with all of you. But I want to clarify, even though there's moments that we've talked about, that I just talked about, that the whole world talked about like Justin, what he did wrong, there's a lot of moments that she celebrates of him and with him. And it's interesting, with him and her mom, not her dad, but with him and her mom and even her little sister, she almost not excuses it, but she gives room for grace. She calls herself out all the time in it too, and I think that's why the book did not rub me the wrong way, because if it was just like I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I don't think I would have been so inclined to speak of it so highly.
Yeah. That's a good point, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So thanks for clarifying.
I would love for you to listen to it. I'm curious what you would think.
I can't read it?
It's good to listen to. It's juicy with Michelle Williams.
No, I'm definitely a listener. Does that constitute, if you listen to a book, does that count as reading the book?
I think
Yes,
so.
you have consumed the book.
But do you need to say that you...
Yeah, you say that you listened to it, or
You
that
consumed
you read it?
the book.
Consumed it.
Yes.
So just switch the vocabulary.
Erica's
It's all
starting
in
a
the
PR
same.
agency.
Yeah. I love it.
She gets to let's change the language here and here. Yeah.
But he makes it correct.
works, yeah.
Makes it correct. Let's sneak in this last story. Sally Jessy Raphael isn't getting any love from Instagram. Sally went on to Instagram to complain that she can't get verified. Sally was a household name in the 80s and 90s with her talk show and famous red-rimmed glasses. Sam, did you ever wear those glasses?
I did.
You did.
It was iconic.
She posted this on the site saying, quote, Instagram doesn't want to give me a blue check no matter what proof I send them, although there is another fake account out there pretending to be her, which I would assume is the problem.
Ooh, so that is one. Okay, so the verified check mark is supposed to separate you from people that are,
Peasants. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So that is, so you do have to be well known, but also this is according to Meta. Your account must represent a well-known, highly searched for brand, person, or entity. We review accounts that are featured in multiple news sources, and we don't consider paid or sponsored media content as sources for review. I'm shocked that Sally Jessy Raphael, she is an icon. You can Google her name and she's gonna pop up left and right. And now that she's talking about this, and so is everybody else, maybe she'll have a blue check mark by the end of the day.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
I think she should
She's
level
a
up from a
queen.
blue. Like, she is a trailblazer. And I think it's hard because I'm sitting on television with two women. No one's had a second thought about it today. But for a while, it was unheard of for a woman to guide a talk show. There was Oprah and a few that came after her. But, I mean, Sally was really one of the original women on TV that had a point of view, that wasn't just there to be eye candy. She was a real trailblazer. Let's get her a check mark.
Yeah,
Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
She can get a check.
Remember Jenny Jones? Did you ever go?
That was my
yeah.
show.
I never went to Jenny Jones, but I did watch it.
The boot
with
camp?
Rude Jude.
Yeah, I was
remember.
on. That was my first time on television. I asked a question on Jenny
You
Jones.
did?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get up. And get this. I mean, I don't even know if I could say this, but it was a pimp with his people.
Yes.
What was your question?
I forgot. I just asked something. I'm like, I just want to get on
Do
television.
you have it?
Somewhere. Maybe it's on VHS in my mom's house.
Please,
my
please
God.
have your
I went
Mom
to Jerry
has that.
Springer.
Okay.
But were they in the same
I think they were back.
studio?
They were the same studio. I think back to back. There was like set
Okay.
to set.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you need to get that before September 6th. We need to see that.
I really want to see that.
I mean, I'm here every day. All right, I'd rather see flashbacks when I was
I
18.
said coming up. I started to read it.
We're getting too comfortable up here. Sam, take it away.
No.
Come on.
No.
Coming up on DVL, Vince Vaughn reveals his theory on why Hollywood doesn't make raunchy comedies anymore. Plus, Oprah and Gayle reveal the secret to their long-lasting friendship. That's coming up next. Sam's going to take it away.
No, I'm not.
You. Welcome back. Cowboy Carter reps Team USA, Frick and Frack are making a comeback, and Gayle shares the secret to being Oprah's BFF in this week's What Erica's Watching. First, Beyoncé surprised millions of viewers when she appeared during the opening ceremony at the Paris Olympics, draped in red, white, and blue. The Queen welcomed Team USA with a remix of her hit song Ya Ya from her Cowboy Carter album. The video features athletes from the U.S. swim, gymnastics, and track team, all getting into their formation and singing and dancing with the Queen. I mean, this only makes sense since legends recognize other legends. Am I right? Next, the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta will feature another familiar face. That's right, Phaedra Parks is making her return. The Georgia Peach announced on Instagram that she is returning as a full-time cast member, honey. She captioned the post, "You called, I answered," while holding a peach. Now, with the return of Portia Williams, I'm looking forward to seeing the reunion of my favorite housewives duo, Frick and Frack, although they're problematic at that.
Let's go! Shaka-laka-laka. Bring it back. See, I knew it!
And speaking of besties, there's been speculation around the friendship between Oprah and Gayle for years. And now these two queens are keeping it real about their famous friendship and shutting down rumors that they are secretly in a romantic relationship. Take a look.
One of the things I started to think was maybe people aren't accustomed to seeing women with this kind of truth bond, meaning the reason why I think our friendship has worked is because Gayle is happier, not happy, but happier for me for any kind of success or victory or challenge I get through than I am for myself.
Oprah also said that Gayle is the mother, sister, and friend that she never had. Now that's the secret to being friends with other queens. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. Vince Vaughn has a theory as to why raunchy R-rated comedies like Old School and Wedding Crashers aren't being made today. While in the hot ones, he said studios are too afraid to make them. Welcome back, Erica. Let's watch.
The people in charge don't want to get fired more so than they're looking to do something great. So they want to kind of, you know, follow a set of rules that somehow like get set in stone. that don't really translate. But as long as they follow them, they're not going to lose their job.
So back in the early 2000s, raunchy comedies were all the rage and making a ton of money. Wedding Crashers brought in $288 million at the box office globally. The first American Pie movie made $235 million worldwide. And all three Hangover movies made $470 million around the world. Al, we always said money talks.
Right.
If money talks, why aren't we doing these films again?
I don't know. I think it's just people being less adventurous, and I think it's a lot to do with the investors. I mean, we're going to get to it in a second, but you know, the Deadpool, Wolverine movie's doing extremely well, and everybody's like, well, that's raunchy. And what
That's more violent, though.
But also, Sammy, yes, it's violence, which this country thrives on.
No, I know.
But also, these are brands that have been around for 15, 20 years. The Hangover were a bunch of people we didn't know. We had to be introduced to those characters. There's a reason why Iron Man is in everything.
I think like the romantic, raunchy comedies, though, don't necessarily compare. It's like apples and oranges, in my opinion, to like the Deadpool, Wolverine. Even though they're totally raunchy, it's different to me. Like, for instance, I think Vince Vaughn has a great point, because I have not seen a movie like that until I saw No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. And I think a lot of people didn't even know it existed, even though it did really well. I mean, you have a woman she's supposed to be 30 years old trying to take the virginity of a teenager.
Right.
And it's so raunchy. And as inappropriate as it may sound, it was very well done, and I love Matthew Broderick plays the dad. I thought it was great, but I do agree with Vince Vaughn that we're not seeing some of these movies anymore.
Why do you think that is, God?
I think that there was an element of, for a while, there was an overexposure. I think that plays something into it.
Pendulum may swing back?
Yeah, and I think that the pendulum does swing back.
Well, it always swings back.
Yeah. I'm not...
Physics.
Physics.
Thank you.
I think, you know, I don't mean to blame everything on the woke culture, but I think people got scared. I think they got scared and they were pushing the envelope, and especially the studios. They're like, I don't want to touch this. I don't want to get canceled. I don't want the franchise to be ruined, or the studio itself. And I think that's the real reason behind it.
Do you think that same thought really quickly could just be applied to an independent movie? I don't think we see as many indie films because they're just like, this has to make money or the studio will not take a script from me again. So I think you go with what
people are making their own movies on YouTube now, right? And of course they don't have the backing because there's no marketing or big names involved. But I think that's where eyeballs are going now, less and less on TV and movies, and people want to see those things. That's why podcasts are so popular, because they're talking about what people are talking about, and the movie business in Hollywood's playing it very safe.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
They're going to start losing money.
All right, well, we'll be right back. Whatever you think. Welcome back. More and more Americans are struggling to pay for the cost of health care, and the stress isn't just affecting our mental health. A new study says that a growing number of older adults are skipping doctor visits and are not refilling prescriptions because of stress over money. I think we could all relate.
Absolutely. And the idea of, not being able to go to a routine checkup, which shouldn't be that much money, catch something in the early stages and take care of it, rather than having to go to the emergency room when you're at death's door because you couldn't afford to go there and just get it taken care of early. So we got to figure this out, man.
We absolutely do. So if you're looking for health care coverage, Better Benefits can help. Many Americans already on Medicare may not have a plan with all the benefits accessible to them. So reach out to a Medicare Advantage advisor today. The benefit review is free. Just call 800-964-0416.
Jeff, I'll tell you this. If we're talking about health insurance, when I finally got it, which was in my 30s, after a ruptured Achilles and a surgery, I was kind of weird about going to the doctor because I had no practice in it.
Wow.
And it took me a while to get used to going into a hospital because I was like, only bad things happen in here. But no, somebody just make sure you're doing okay.
It's crazy because the first thing I think when I go to a doctor for a healthcare checkup, because I'm at that age, how much is this going to cost me?
Same.
And they send me a test, and I'm like, is this going to be more money?
Yeah, and
I'm putting off
yes.
going to the bathroom in a box,
Yeah.
Because, hey, on that note, happy birthday. It's my brother's Scott's birthday. Love you, buddy.
Yay!